Hey everyone, welcome to another top 10 list and welcome to my top 10 favourite movies of 2003. 2003 is another good year for films. Wasn't really sure if it was worthy for a top 10, but it turns out after doing my research, with some fun films, very few guilty pleasures. Let's do it. Let's keep this river flowing of favourite years of films. So welcome to my here are my top 10 favourite movies of 2003, and as always before your top 10 list, you gotta have your honourable mentions. And my honourable mentions are Bruce Almighty, Big Fish, Kangaroo Jack, Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines, Holes, X-Men 2, Looney Tunes Back in Action, The Matrix Reloaded, The Matrix Revolutions, and Love Actually. All great films, just couldn't make the top 10 list. But what did make the top 10 is my number 10, which is my ultimate guilty pleasure spy parody film, which is Johnny English. Huge Rowan Atkinson fan. Obviously, I like him as Mr. Bean and Zazu and other roles he's in. But Johnny English is one of my favourite roles from him. The film is pretty much to me like a parody of James Bond and other spy films. It's silly, it's enjoyable to watch, and I enjoy, Reborn and Strikes Back as well. But this one is also enjoyable. Number 9, Too Fast, Too Furious. Definitely not the best of the Fast and the Furious sequels, given that Vin Diesel didn't return as Dominic Toretto, but at least Paul Walker, rest in peace man, returns as Brian O'Connor and teams up with Tyrese Gibson as Roman Pierce. It still has some badass action scenes and racing scenes. But my favourite of the sequels is definitely Fast 5 onwards, but I still enjoy the earlier films, Number 8 is Peter Pan. Not talking about the Disney version, since that was 1953. This version is not from Disney, just so you know. But I still love it. Love that version along with Steven Spielberg's Hook. But this one is up there with those big time. It's very underrated. It should be talked about a little more often, because it's still faithful to the original story that, J.M. Barrie wrote. Jason Isaacs is great as both Captain Hook and Mr. Darling. It's got beautiful James Newton Howard score, and I love it. Peter Pan 2003. Number 7 is Sinbad, Legend of the Seven Seas. Definitely another underrated film on this list, and another underrated film, from, you guessed it, DreamWorks. A lot of their 2D animated films that they did in their, early days aren't really talked about much, but they do deserve more recognition in my opinion, and Sinbad is definitely one of them. I love this adventurous story, the animation, the characters like Sinbad and Marina. They're great, and I think anyone who has not seen it should definitely give it a watch. Anyways, number 6 is Brother Bear. When it comes to the early 2000s Disney films, the animated ones, this is one I really enjoy. Once again, very underrated. I love the friendship between Kenna and Koda. Rut and Tuk are funny. It's got a great story, amazing soundtrack by Phil Collins, strong messages, and I just overall love it. Number 5 is Bad Santa. Sorry. This is a very funny black comedy Christmas film that, starring Billy Bob Thornton as Willie T. Stokes, who's basically a thief, but also a department Santa Claus, and his version of Santa is completely different from every other's because the humor is a little bit dirty in this film, but it's very funny. It makes me laugh a lot. I'm sorry. And I would definitely love to rewatch this during the holiday season. Number 4 is Elf. Santa! Oh my god! One of the greatest Christmas films ever. I love this movie. I rewatch it almost every December because it's timeless. Love Will Ferrell as Buddy the Elf. Ed Asner, rest in peace, as greatest Santa Claus. It's super quotable, including... And everyone, including me, has talked about it a lot, and it always puts a smile on my face every Christmas and holiday season. Every December, basically. Number 3 is Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl. When it comes to, my favourite live-action Disney films, the Pirates of the Caribbean films are what come to mind, and they are my favourites. Curse of the Black Pearl is definitely a great start to this franchise. Jack Sparrow, Will Turner, Elizabeth Swann, Davy Jones, all memorable characters. The action scenes are fun to watch. Again, we've talked about it a lot, and so has everyone else. Number 2 is Finding Nemo. One of my favourite Pixar films ever. Always loved this film growing up. Amazing story about a fish called Marlin trying to find his son Nemo and meets a bluefish called Dory along the way. Wonderful animation, lovable characters again, and I've talked about a lot. I don't need to say much else apart from everyone knows and loves it. But my number one favourite movie of 2003 is The Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King. One of the greatest conclusions to one of the best movie trilogies ever. It's my favourite Middle-earth movie. And what can I say that hasn't been said? That no one else has said. Not much else. Talked about a lot since I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan. And that's all I need to say. Amazing movie. So yeah, those are my top 10 favourite movies of 2003. What are your favourite movies of 2003? Tell me down in the comments, and as always, thank you all for watching, and skadoos.